hypnotized into feeling no pain. This man will prove it when he undergoes root canal surgery without anesthesia.
I've been focusing on my happy place. I feel no pain.
They can devour an animal in seconds. Then why is this man getting into a tank of piranhas? On the head of a pin or the end of an eyelash. Sculptures so small, you can only see them under a microscope. Hundreds peer at her most private moments. Can Daniela survive the glasshouse hysteria? It looks like another planet, but it's right here on Earth, with only one way to get there. Unbelievable? Believe it. On Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Welcome to Ripley's. Hypnosis is a psychological technique that's been used for everything from getting someone to quit smoking to helping amnesiacs regain their memories. But its latest use is almost too good to be true. Imagine going in for dental surgery and, thanks to hypnosis, not only do you forget the pain, you never feel it in the first place. Many Americans' greatest fear is going to the dentist. Even for a basic procedure, patients are heavily sedated. Unbelievably, this patient plans to undergo one of the most painful dental procedures of all. A root canal without Novocaine, gas, or any painkillers whatsoever.
Believe it or not, I'm having root canal with no anesthesia. Am I crazy? Yes.
Shanti Provasoli is accustomed to alternative therapies, having learned how to meditate when he was just a child. So when his dentist told him he needed a root canal, Shanti decided to forego the drugs and undergo hypnosis instead.
I believe in hypnosis and meditation, mind over matter. I hate needles, so it works out for me.
Hey, how you doing, Shanti?
Dr. Nicholas Gistaro, a San Diego dentist, will perform Shanti's root canal. He's an executive board member of the American Society of Clinical Hypnosis. For the past 17 years, he's been putting patients under with hypnosis, 6 of them on a regular basis. And he feels the experience is actually less stressful for both the patient and dentist.
Hypnosis is just a knowledge of how to allow an individual to relax, to explore their subconscious so they could utilize it to their benefit.
Weeks before his appointment with Dr. Gistaro, Shanti began preparing for the all-natural root canal surgery.
I've been focusing on my happy place. The happy place is a place where I feel good, I feel relaxed, I feel strong, confident.
For Shanti, the day has arrived. Before the procedure, Dr. Gistaro spends about 15 minutes speaking to Shanti in a low voice. He needs to lull him into a level of hypnosis deep enough to last the 40 minutes that it will take to complete the root canal.
What I'd like you to do now is start counting from 100 backwards. And with every number, I want you to double your relaxation till those numbers just drop off. Okay. I'm going to lay you back now. You're going to take your deep breaths. And you're ready to go.
As the root canal begins, Shanti shows no sign of discomfort whatsoever. Dr. Gistaro will drill through the tooth into the living nerve. Even the sound of the drill doesn't cause Shanti to fall out of the hypnotic state.
Beautiful.
Remarkably, even after more than 15 minutes, Shanti remains calm and composed. You'd think the pain would be excruciating. It seems impossible that someone can lie in a state of hypnosis, unfazed by the sound, the smell, and the drilling.
I want you to imagine a visual.
Well, Lisa Mockenberg isn't surprised. She's a faculty member at the Hypnosis Motivation Institute in Los Angeles and says hypnosis can actually hold back the blinding pain.
Every breath you take. Now, we all know that pain is a warning system. That's why we have it. But if you're going in for a procedure that's going to benefit you, like getting your teeth worked on, having a baby, and you reframe that this is here to help me and not here to warn me, you can reframe the sensation as pressure, coolness, heat, or just a pleasant sensation of being outside in a scene of nature.
Amazingly, half an hour has passed, but the clock is ticking fast.
Great.
Shanti is still in his trance-like state, and Dr. Gistaro knows that he could awake at any moment. It's unbelievable that he hasn't responded once to what must be incredible pain.
Beautiful. Are you still comfortable in there? Excellent.
At this point, there are still 10 minutes to go. With just 5 minutes left, Shanti begins to stir. Dr. Gistaro tells Shanti humming might take his mind off the pain. Several seconds later, Shanti screams out in pain. He is obviously no longer in his happy place. Dr. Gistaro immediately finishes up the procedure. He's pleased with the results.
Do your best, and he did excellent. He did excellently.
Although hypnosis is clearly not for everyone, it's becoming a viable alternative for dental patients who either can't tolerate anesthesia or who prefer a more organic method of treatment. As for Shanti,
I'm so glad it's over. You know, I trained for a few weeks, and glad I got through it.
just when you think you've seen everything that the human body can do, you run into a surprise. Or in this case, you walk into one.
Moses Lanham is the reigning celebrity here in his hometown of Monroe, Michigan.
Holy man.
Everyone is amazed by the man who can turn his feet around completely backward. Affectionately known as Mr. Elastic, Moses was born with ligaments and cartilage much longer and more flexible than the average person. He first discovered his unusual ability by accident when he fell some 15 feet while doing a rope climb in a high school gym class.
Because of the awkward position I fell in, my teacher thought I either broke a bone or dislocated a joint. But I stood right up, no pain whatsoever.
He didn't waste any time in finding out what else he could do with his feet.
When I realized that I had flexibility, I began to test what my limitations were. I discovered that I was able to flip my feet directly behind me.
This vaulted Moses to celebrity status in his small hometown.
Well, and it came to the point where kids were actually handing me money just to turn my feet around.
He'd even made an impression on Felicia, the girl who would become his wife.
I don't know how long into the dating that he had told me, and I was a skeptic back then. It's like, yeah, sure, show me. I didn't believe it, so he did it. From then on there, I just trusted him.
Dr. Joseph Hunt is Moses' family physician.
He has unusually loose ligaments in his hip and in his joints that allows this to take place. It's 1 in millions.
Moses can walk backwards for up to 100 feet, but for some extra fun, he just dresses up and stands around.
I had thought of the phone booth gag several years ago, probably about 10 years ago, where I wanted to put a suit, tie, and shoes on backwards and stand at a outdoor phone booth just so I can see the reactions of passerbyers.
But turning his feet backwards isn't all that Moses can do. He can also turn a regular lotus pose into a pretzel. But he's not the only one in the family with an unusual talent. His 6-year-old son, Trey, can rotate his feet till they face backward, too.
I think it's cool for my dad to do it, so I think I could try.
Now that they've developed this special skill, for Moses and Trey Lanham, there's no turning back.
Coming up next, this little horse is living a dog's life.
They are capable of being housebroken just like a dog.
It's the mini mare with a mission. Then, what started with a single rubber band has grown to over 200,000.
I want to make it bigger. I want to make it bigger.
Wait till you hear what he wants to do next. Also, meet the men willing to take an unbelievable leap of faith. Coming up on Ripley's Believe It or Not. Amazing stories and unbelievable people. Ripley's Believe It or Not.
You've probably seen them in parades, horse shows, and fairs, but the miniature horse, that is, any horse shorter than 34 inches, may soon be showing up at your neighborhood mall or favorite restaurant. Now, it's no stampede at this point, but if one North Carolina couple has their way, it might be.
We're all used to seeing guide dogs leading their owners around town. But here in Raleigh, North Carolina, people are doing a double take when they see this guide animal.
Left turn.
A miniature horse named Twinkie.
We chose Twinkie because of her disposition and her size.
Janet Burleson and her husband Don are computer specialists who are convinced that miniature horses actually make better guide dogs than dogs.
Well, miniature horses are more economical than dogs, with 4 times the useful life of a guide animal.
The inspiration for guide horses hit them while they were visiting New York Central Park.
We noticed the horses would pay attention to the traffic flow. They would stop for the red lights. They would go when it was green, and they were always aware of the traffic patterns.
Before long, they were training their horse Twinkie to be a guide.
We've been training her for 10 months. She's a great companion animal. She loves to go with you. She comes when you call. She's affectionate.
It costs $25,000 to train either a dog or a horse, but dogs only live 10 to 12 years, while a mini horse will be around for 35 to 40. And there are over 100,000 of them among the 7 million horses registered in the United States. The horses also have an incredible field of vision, 350 degrees, meaning they can see just about anything around them, except their own tail.
Good girl.
And surprisingly, upkeep isn't that hard. They eat a bale of hay per month, but that only costs $4. And the little horses live right inside the house.
Come on, girl. Good girl. They are capable of being housebroken just like a dog.
Karen Clark has always relied on dogs to guide her, but today she's volunteered to put Twinkie through her first real test run.
Hey, Twinkie. Hey, how are you?
Since this is Twinkie's first experience with another person, Janet goes along.
Yes, we'll see that.
Twinkie wears a harness just like seeing eye dogs, along with one special addition: very comfortable walking shoes.
Her little back feet would slide, and it was hard for her to get traction. Your right turn?
Right turn.
A lot of people don't even notice her. They'll pass her right by until they actually look down and see, my goodness, that's a horse.
I like her pace.
Twinkie chugs right along, following her cues. Karen noticed a difference right away between Twinkie and her dog, Richmond.
I liked that the horse seeks out ramps so that you don't ever have the anxiety of whether you're going to fall down steps or not. I think dogs tend to go more in straight lines.
Good girl.
And loud buses and honking horns don't appear to bother the guide horse, even though this is her first experience on busy city streets. And though a horse may not be as affectionate as a dog, it may be an advantage on the job.
Dogs are addicted to being petted and getting attention, whereas a horse can just be self-contained and a unit into themselves.
After a long day, Karen has nothing but praise for her new four-legged friend.
I liked the pace that Twinkie had. I enjoyed that. And when the horse stopped, it stopped and just would wait patiently. A dog, you'd really have to tell to stop and sit.
Twinkie's test run has been a success, inspiring the Burlesons and their plans for a seeing eye horse revolution.
I'm encouraged that the further we go with this, the more encouraged we are as we see that this can work.
For the skeptics, I'd say give it a chance.
We've all passed a little time at work making office supply accessories like a paperclip necklace or the old standby, a rubber band ball. But eventually, you get bored, you stop, and you get back to work. Well, not John Bain.
John Bain isn't your typical mailroom worker. This 22-year-old law firm employee and college student has an obsession with rubber band balls.
It definitely was an obsession. You know, I'd be sitting in class or something being like, oh, I need to work on my rubber band ball. I want to make it bigger. I want to make it bigger.
Just how big? Take a look at his greatest work of art. The 2,010-pound rubber band ball. It's made out of 200,000 rubber bands.
I take one rubber band, I tie it in a knot, and I start putting another one around it, another around it.
It took John nearly 2 years to create this one-of-a-kind object. Born from one single rubber band, the ball quickly grew from golf ball size to baseball size. Once it became as large as a basketball, John had to take it out of the mailroom and back to his house.
I started working on it in my room. I would just sit here, listen to music videos, and work on the ball.
Eventually, John rolled his creation into the garage. By this time, the sphere was too big for regular bands to stretch around. So John started using industrial-sized bands, the kind used to ship furniture and appliances.
The bands that I have on here now, these bands are huge. I think they're like 70 inches unstretched.
He kept adding bands until it finally tipped the scales at 2,000 plus pounds, making it the largest rubber band ball ever.
I've had it pin me up against the wall in the garage.
To protect all of his hours of work, John coats the ball with Armor All to keep the bands from drying out and cracking. Now he's besieged with one question in particular.
Everybody wants to know what would happen if we dropped this thing.
The obvious assumption is that it would bounce, like these much smaller balls that John's made. But Professor Robert Fielding, a physics instructor at Valley College, says that's not true.
It probably will not bounce, or if it does bounce, it will be very, very little.
He says the rubber bands on the inside are so dry and brittle, the jumbo-sized ball could crack into pieces or even burst into flames.
It's quite possible that at the center of the ball, the temperature would be great enough to melt some of the rubber bands, and in melting, release flammable gases, which possibly could ignite, and therefore there could be an explosion. Therefore, we will no longer have a ball.
Not wanting to risk damage to his rubber baby, John and his friends had to satisfy their curiosity by dropping Junior, a smaller 100-pound rubber band ball, off a 40-foot building.
All right, that wasn't bad.
Well, not much of a bounce, but at least it didn't explode. If you think John's finally finished with his masterpiece, think again.
I'd like to put at least one more layer on it and make it red, white, and blue, and then put it in a museum.
It's that patriotic thinking that has his dad, Earl, feeling extra proud of what his son has accomplished.
It really makes you proud to see one of your children accomplish something that good, and especially follow something through where they're proud of what they do also. So my wife and I were both real proud of him.
Coming up on Ripley's, a tank full of hungry piranhas is no place for an unprotected human.
A large piranha can easily remove a finger right through to the bone.
But this man says he knows how to outsmart the flesh-eating fish. Then, an entire landscape created on the head of a pin? Wait till we show you these microscopic sculptures when Ripley's Believe It or Not returns. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Most fine art requires a gallery, or at the very least, a frame to be fully appreciated. But there's one artist whose work can't be seen, let alone appreciated, unless you invest in a really good microscope.
Bath, England is famous for its many eye-catching tourist attractions. But Bath's newest exhibit is filled with artworks so tiny, they're invisible to the naked eye. In this small room, there are more than 500 carved sculptures. Some are bigger than life, but others can only be seen through special magnifying lenses. Willard Wigan's tiny, intricate creations include the Statue of Liberty standing in the eye of a sewing needle and a man walking a tightrope made from a splinter of wood.
I can produce the smallest microscopic work on Earth.
He has carved a bird in a nest perched on an eyelash, and Mount Rushmore's presidents on the sharp tip of a pencil. And it's not every day you see an entire landscape, church, trees and all, on the head of a pin. But nothing drew crowds like the sight of a tiny polar bear sitting on a single granule of sugar.
We disregard the small things in life. We don't believe that anything exists unless it's large. But, you know, I'm going to change that. I'm going to let people realize that small is beautiful.
Willard's gift for creating on a small scale began when he was just 5 years old.
I had a fixation for ants, and I started to make little huts for them and houses because I thought they needed somewhere to live.
He's been carving many masterpieces ever since. Amazingly, he uses a microscope only to work on strands of hair. Everything else is sculpted with the naked eye.
It's natural. I've always been able to see on a small scale. I just kept doing it, and I just kept on, and I noticed my skills was getting better. My eyesight was getting better for some reason.
To carve all the complicated details, Willard uses special scalpels similar to those used in the most delicate surgeries. In fact, microsurgeons from around the world have come to see Willard's technique and to ask about his ability to stay perfectly still as he works.
I have to hold my breath for approximately 3 minutes or 4, and my heart rate slows down, my pulse rate slows down, everything seems to slow.
It can take up to 6 months to finish just one of these delicate works of art. But those long hours of hard work are worth it. Willard has won admirers, including Prince Charles, and has sold pieces to collectors who are captivated by his Lilliputian designs, like this girl jumping rope inside a flower. Prices are available to serious buyers only. Next, Willard hopes to create even smaller sculptures. He hopes to one day carve atoms, the minute particles that make up our world.
People haven't seen the best of me. This is just the beginning. They're going to be surprised what I can do.
Now, Shannon Pole Summers is not your average 14-year-old. Yes, she's an honor student. She helps around the house. She even loves horseback riding. But she's also held the title as strongest woman in the world. Shannon Pole Summers is a real-life wonder girl. And she's about to face her greatest challenge ever. This 14-year-old is going to put on a harness and attempt to pull a 5-ton truck filled with an entire high school football team.
The truck weighs 10,000 pounds more than I do. I'm worried about if I'm going to be able to get a good grip and if I'm going to be able to make it those long 10 yards.
It's a combined weight of more than 6 tons. But if anyone can do it, it's Shannon. Shannon is a sophomore from Easley, South Carolina. She's already won 293 powerlifting records and has been named the world's strongest woman 2 times.
Well, I'm one of the girls who likes to get out there, play football, get dirty, get muddy, get bruises, break a bone if I have to. I like to be in the action. I don't like to be left out. If I'm left out, then I'm going to work harder to be included. I'm not going to wimp out on you.
While women's powerlifting may be a fairly new sport, its current star has been involved in athletics since she was practically a baby. Shannon started participating in sports at the age of 4. Her coach and biggest supporter also happens to be her dad, Carl Summers.
I require first that she gives me 110% of herself when she comes out to perform for me, and there's nothing but powerlifting that's on her mind.
In the weight room of her high school gym, this teenager's strength and power makes the football players envious.
I've never seen a girl lift that much weight, to be honest with you. She has great form. She's a lot stronger than most of us.
A lot of them believe she should be on the football team.
She can play the offensive line or defensive line if she wanted to.
In addition to being a powerlifter, Shannon also has a black belt in Taekwondo. And in her spare time, she rides horses and maintains a 4.0 grade point average.
My grades are excellent. I have a busy load. I know what I have to do to get the job done.
The secret to Shannon's success is hard work, stamina, and she's not afraid to get dirty.
I like to play rough. If you don't like that, I'm sorry, don't play my game.
Shannon trains whenever possible, and she's been gearing up for her latest challenge, which is so daunting, even this undisputed champion has her doubts.
I'm apprehensive about the football players and the added weight. There's always the risk of if I don't stretch properly, I could tear a ligament, pull a muscle. I've already had injured muscles before, and especially on my Achilles tendon, my left Achilles tendon, I have to be careful. I have to stretch that out very well, or I'll pull that muscle again.
Although injuring herself could end her promising athletic career, Shannon has decided to go through with it.
170.
The football team weighs in at a whopping 2,729 pounds, adding more than a ton to the already 5-ton pickup truck.
The crowd is cheering while the football players hop into the back of the truck, but I still have my concerns. As they hook my harness onto the cable, I realize I have to get focused and I have to be able to do this. This is what I've come here for.
Shannon gets into a 4-point stance, the sign that she's ready to go. She'll need to pull the truck filled with football players a total of over 30 feet. With her dad watching closely, Shannon starts to slowly inch forward, her leg muscles doing most of the work. One step, the truck is starting to move. Another step. Shannon makes it look easy. She's starting to pick up momentum quickly with only a few yards to go.
With every step, I gain more and more confidence that I'm going to be able to finish this pull.
Her confidence level is high, even as her energy level dwindles. Shannon pushes onward, refusing to give up the fight. With a final burst of energy, Shannon crosses the finish line. She's done it, and it only took 20 seconds.
I finally reached the finish line. I'm so excited, but I'm full of relief that this thing is finally over. I'm overwhelmed with happiness that I've finally achieved my goal.
Shannon Pole Summers has pulled a combined weight of more than 6 tons, proving without a doubt that she's the world's strongest woman.
Coming up, this woman turns heads when she steps into her house. And a giant birdhouse where you'd better watch your step when Ripley's Believe It or Not returns.
It's said that when Brazilian farmers need to lead a herd of cattle across a river infested with piranhas, they intentionally sacrifice one weak or injured cow to the ravenous fish so that the rest of the animals can make it across safely. Now you're going to meet a man who seems determined to sacrifice himself to help us get over our fear of these flesh-eating fish.
Man-eating piranhas. With their razor-sharp teeth and incredibly strong jaws, they can rip flesh from bone in a matter of seconds. But this man is willing to venture where few of us would dare, into a tank teeming with bloodthirsty piranhas, also known as piranhas.
I really have no fear or apprehension of getting into an aquarium with a piranha or with a group of piranhas because I know their behavior.
Dr. David Schlesser is an aquatic biologist who studied piranhas for more than 10 years in the Brazilian Amazon, where natives there actually catch and eat the fish. Schlesser, who authored a book on piranha behavior, says the tiny fish have an amazing sense of smell. In fact, they can sniff out blood in the water from up to 2 miles away.
The waters in the Amazon are very murky and vision is very limited, so they have to find their prey. They've evolved a sense of smell to detect blood in the water, and that will attract them.
There are 25 different species of piranhas, but the 3 carnivorous types are the most feared. These savage creatures have 16 quarter-inch teeth each, and traveling in packs of up to 100, they work with deadly efficiency. Capturing a feeding frenzy on film is rare, but it has been documented that a school of piranha can devour a carcass in just 30 seconds, eating every scrap of flesh, leaving only the bones. That's why in certain areas of the Amazon, it's not safe for man or beast to enter the water.
If a person slips and falls in the water there, they just consider it something being thrown in to eat. And their jaws being as strong as they are, this could do severe damage. It could lead to fatalities.
But that doesn't deter Dr. Schlesser. Here at the Dallas Aquarium, he prepares to submerge himself in the 3,000-gallon tank of red-bellied, meat-eating piranhas. Even in captivity, these fish could start a feeding frenzy if they identify the doctor as food. Wearing weights to keep him underwater, Dr. Schlesser carefully enters the tank. He moves very slowly because piranhas are attracted to sudden motion, and he has no protection against them.
A large piranha can easily remove a finger right through to the bone.
As the minutes slowly tick by, Dr. Schlesser is completely at the piranha's mercy. They can swim as fast as 5 feet per second, meaning he would have no chance to escape those saw-like teeth.
These teeth are meant not for grabbing prey, they're meant for biting out a chunk of flesh.
Dr. Schlesser spends over 20 minutes in the tank and then emerges unharmed.
They didn't attack, but still I'm very glad to come out.
This piranha behavior expert says there are 2 secrets to avoid being attacked. No sudden movements, and don't let them catch your scent. Even a paper cut could have signaled food to the flesh eaters.
This shouldn't be interpreted as meaning is that they're always harmless. There are places that piranhas can be very dangerous, and neither I nor the people that live there will go in the water with them.
Piranhas are so common in the Amazon that the natives use their jaws and teeth as cutting tools. Roughly translated, piranha means scissors.
Stories you can't imagine. People you won't believe. In Santiago, Chile, 21-year-old Daniela Tobar wakes up to face her day. But she's not alone. Hundreds of people have already gathered outside to catch a glimpse of her through the walls of her glass house. Daniela has no place to hide. Spectators watch her every move. Daniela, an aspiring actress, was paid $400 to just be herself on Chile's ultimate stage and expose her most personal moments. Although this residence will never be described as luxurious, it does have all the basic necessities. The house cost $23,000 to build, half of which was paid by a government arts endowment. The architects behind the idea said they simply wanted to test the public's feelings on the right to privacy. And man, did they get some feedback. With overwhelming crowds and pressure from the Chilean government mounting, Daniela decided it was best to make a hasty retreat after only 2 weeks. To the chagrin of many, a man was brought in to take her place. But without Daniela, things just weren't the same. Interest waned, and the crowds that once followed Daniela's every move disappeared.
A guy who brings his wife flowers and takes her on cruises claims to be the cheapest man in the world. Explanation? Well, he snagged those flowers from a funeral home, and it was one of those sales pitch freebie dinner cruises where they kick you off the boat before dessert. And that is just the beginning.
I wear it as a badge of honor. I'm cheap and I'm proud.
Meet Roy Haynes. With his cost-cutting measures, he makes the average coupon clipper look like a spendthrift because he has an amazing ability for finding ways not to spend money. In a typical day, Roy will rummage through anything to unearth a bargain, squeeze out every last drop, and pinch every penny.
This has been a lifestyle for me for a very long time. I learned at a young age to cut corners and not indulge in any wind.
Roy doesn't want a 9-to-5 kind of job, so he makes a living by reselling other people's junk. It doesn't bring in much, just $15,000 a year.
And this particular what I have in my hand.
But Roy knows how to make every single dollar count. From the food he eats,
a lot of rice meals, as you see, because rice is inexpensive,
to the cold remedy he makes.
Some ginger ale, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper.
To the paper towels he recycles over and over again.
Each towel I get 4 or 5 uses out of.
Roy has made an art of cutting corners.
I equate it with being a smart shopper.
Thanks to their tight spending, Roy and his wife Lisa own their home and 2 cars outright. But as Lisa knows all too well, saving on rent doesn't mean he'll spend on interior decorating.
I have a couch here that he was able to find free from someone's home. He doesn't allow a lot of lighting in the house. He wants to save money on all the electricity.
Luckily, he gets free firewood from a neighbor.
He's so stingy with the heat that we have to use a wood stove in our house.
But after 15 years of marriage, Lisa is used to Roy's frugal ways. And although he's extreme when it comes to saving money, even he has his limits.
I make a point of always buying the 2-ply, and then I separate it so I get 2 rolls out of the one. And although I reuse my paper towels, I do not reuse my toilet paper.
Now, Lisa can't say that Roy is not the same man she married. After all, he did take her to McDonald's on their wedding night.
Next, deep in the jungle is a hole that goes deep into the earth.
I mean, it's like being on another planet.
Is it a danger pit or a diver's paradise? You decide when Ripley's Believe It or Not returns. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
They call it the Cave of the Swallows, and they mean it. At any given time, over 100,000 birds live in this cave's deep caverns. And like many birds, these swallows get easily excited, especially if they look up and see a person falling past them. And that's where the fun really starts. There are plenty of places to bungee jump or parachute, but here, in an underground cave deep enough to hold the Empire State Building, is the only subterranean jump in the world. Just getting there is an adventure, as these men make this 7-hour trek from Mexico City to a location so remote, there isn't even a road to take them there. Vladi Peza is among the explorers who have spent a year planning the journey to the bottom of the Cave of the Swallows. Vladi says for him, there is only one way to get to the bottom of this 1,400-foot abyss. Jump.
As I'm stepping, towards the edge, I can definitely feel some shaking action in my knees, It's that, of course, your heart is pounding at 200 miles per hour.
It's a sudden drop through a narrow tunnel, and in just 6 seconds of free fall, the jumpers accelerate to 100 miles an hour.
The visual things that are happening around me are most unique, The walls are racing right next to me, and I can feel the wind blowing in my hair.
Jumpers say it's an amazing experience, but the risks are mind-boggling. For starters, they have to hope their parachute deploys because there is no backup. And even if the chute does work, drifting too close to any of the walls could shred it, and both parachute and jumper would drop like a stone.
So you're surrounded by a wall pretty much like on a cliff. So the moment you open, you have to steer away from it in a circular motion.
Finally, there are the 100,000 swallows that call this tranquil tunnel home. If even a single bird gets tangled in a parachute, the jumper could crash to the rocks below. That's bad news when the nearest hospital is hours away. But those who land safely get a glimpse of an alien world that few have ever seen.
This is where it's at, man.
The bottom of the cave gets no direct sunlight. The rays reflecting off the massive walls and moss-covered ground make for a breathtaking sight.
I mean, it's like being on another planet.
But getting in almost seems easy compared to getting out. An intricate winch system pulls the explorers out 2 at a time, but they've got no parachutes and no safety net if the rope should snap. Finally, everyone has safely returned from the bottom of the cave. And it's not likely that any of them will ever forget this electric combination of danger, thrills, and exquisite beauty.
Actually gives me the goosebumps right now thinking about that. It's like an amazing feeling. Share something with a very special group of people in a very special magic place. It's definitely a unique experience.
We'll be right back.
Coming up next, he was convicted of killing and eating his snowbound companions. Do you recognize this infamous cannibal? We'll reveal the identity of this decapitated demon when Ripley's returns.
This is a not-so-shrunken head, which, if it could talk, would have quite a story to tell. Meet the mortal remains of Alfred Packer. Back in the 1870s, Packer was a guide taking would-be gold miners across the Rocky Mountains. Well, during one trip, the weather turned bad, and Packer and 5 miners were snowed in. When the snow melted, Packer was the only survivor. How did he survive? Well, he killed and ate his companions. Packer was convicted, imprisoned, and then, amazingly, paroled. But the story doesn't end there. After his death and burial, Packer's body was dug up and his head was removed by grave robbers as some sort of a grisly souvenir. Unbelievable? Believe it.